You are listening to the new man beyond the macho jerk and the new age wimp. Your host is men's coach Tripp Lanier.
Do you ever play it safe when it comes to money or sex? Do you take risks or only go for what appears to be a sure thing? And how can we make sure we don't get stuck in a prey mentality? Today, we're going to listen in on a recent call I had with a coaching client. His work and sex life were feeling flat, so we explored some ways he could get out of his own way, stop playing it safe, and find that mojo again. So you recently went through the book. You think you said you're working on your second time through. Is that right? What's standing out to you? Give me a sense of what's sticking for you.
There's a couple things that really stood out for me. I think one part that really stuck out was like when you were saying it was kind of getting flat between you and Allison, and you were able to just drop and like be your full self, and what that just led to for the last however many years you guys have known each other. That was just like, how often have I just played it safe in relationships and work, when, again, I don't want to be looked at as, the weird guy, the whatever guy, where I was just playing it so safe. And there could have been some real richness in just taking a chance and really putting my cards out there.
What are the ways that you are aware that you play it safe?
I think one way I think is probably just expressing even just my desire with my wife. I think I play it safe sometime, and which is weird because this woman loves me like no other. But for whatever reason, we've been married 5 years. I still, instead of really express like I want to be intimate or whatever that is, or just feels flat, it feels like there's a force field around it. It's like I can't get outside and really show, what I want. And then sometimes it's even tough for me to put words on it.
So the desire, You're saying the desire is there. You actually feel the desire, but expressing it, give me a sense of what happens when I feel my desire. I feel some turn on, but then what happens?
I don't know. I'm afraid of either how it's going to come across, or if it's going to be accepted, or even if I'm okay with it on some level. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll feel it and I'll want to say something or make a move or something like that. And what I've realized is I don't feel like I'm necessarily that well versed in making, in quotes, the move. I'm just all thumbs in a way. So I'll start second guessing
Wait, you didn't
myself.
Go through the big class that everybody else went through and we all learned
I
this
missed
stuff?
I missed it.
You mean you're the one guy that doesn't know how to do this stuff?
Yes, exactly. I'm like, she'll be like, really? You're just going to grab my boob? And I'm like, what else should I do? And yeah, so there's that.
I got scolded for that this morning too. So, okay, you're in good hands. So let's come back to something, because I hear that you're concerned about how it's going to come across to her if you were to express your desire. But then I heard you say that you're not even sure if it's okay for you. Like there's an aspect within yourself that says, is it actually okay for me to have this feeling or to want to do this? Tell me, what does that mean for you? Like, give me a sense of what that is.
It almost feels like I get caught up even within like, am I doing this right? You know what I mean? Like, there's some level where my wife wants me to be romantic, and like it literally don't know what that means. So I just freeze instead of just making an attempt and messing up. I'll just freeze and just let the moment pass inside myself of like, yeah, I have the desire, but all right, I'm just going to stuff that down instead of, making an attempt or something. Like I have this whole energy about like what the romance thing is. And It's just, yeah, it just keeps me stuck.
So I've got this, I feel this desire, I feel my turn on, and then I'm aware I've got an expectation. I've got to be romantic
Mm-hmm.
about this. But if I screw that, I might screw that up. I might, like you said, I got to get it right.
Right.
And then there's a part that's like, I don't know how to get it right. So boop, door closes, nothing happens. And then everybody misses out on something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just give me a sense of what is up for you. If you were to get it wrong, are you even aware of what the getting it wrong is? If you feel your desire, but you're unskillful about expressing that desire and you get it wrong and it's not quote romantic or whatever it might be, what happens for you?
The getting it wrong, what does that feel like? What happens for me?
I mean, did she say something to you? Are you scolded? Or you?
No, she doesn't say anything to me. Just the energy is off, right? And well, I won't even say that because sometimes I don't even try. So, I think sometimes it'll be rebuffed. Like it'll be like, dude, work on your romance game, and I'm just like, fuck.
Because what are you doing? You're just walking up and grabbing a boob or something, or literally?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Which I got to get better about, through, a little butt grab and straight caveman status.
I was going to say, man, crawling, we're just knuckle dragging through this. Okay.
So that's where I'm just like, I know there's got to be a better way than this. And I feel like when I was just dating, I put less pressure on myself. You know what I mean? Like it would be times where maybe I wasn't so emotionally invested with this person where I would just do whatever. I was not putting on an act, but like I wasn't like the results didn't hurt as much if I did something wrong or what I thought was romantic. If it came off weird, I'd just be like, oh, okay, whatever. But now this gotta work and I'm playing to win and I gotta wow my wife.
Don't mess this up, right? That's we get really attached to the outcome. Oh man, I got one shot here. I can't screw it up, right? Everything tenses up and that.
Exactly.
It's hard to be bold there. It's hard to be bold. Yeah. It's hard to when we convince ourselves that there's so much at risk.
Exactly.
So we play it safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just it just maps over in a lot of other parts of my life. Just when you're saying it, that this is just a microcosm of insert thing that might feel uncomfortable in that space. So yeah, I was just, yeah.
Where else do you see it? We don't have to necessarily go down that road, but where else do you see it mapping over? This playing it safe because you're so attached to the outcome and you got to get it right.
I would even say in just some negotiations with what I do, like I want to get it right and I don't want to mess up the deal. So the price or the place that I need to be on the spectrum of purchasing, I won't put it out there because one, I don't want to mess it up and lose the deal. So sometimes I will just kind of get pushed around in a way. And so, yeah, I just see that where me not wanting to mess it up and get it wrong or be uncomfortable. It just kind of follows me around.
Okay. So this is the fear mentality, right? This is a prey mentality when we're essentially finding direction in our lives by looking for threats to avoid. I don't want to be uncomfortable. What do I got to do so that I'm not uncomfortable? I don't want to put my money or my time at risk. What do I do so that I don't lose anything? I don't want to be humiliated. I don't want to be rejected. What do I do so that I please everybody and everybody likes me?
Exactly.
There's people that will live their entire lives focusing on those three particular threats, some version of that. And that is essentially at the core playing it safe. And we all do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We all do that to some extent. But what I'm getting about you is that, wait a second, I want another possibility here. I want more. I want to feel more expansive. I want to feel more alive. I want all the juiciness that comes from having a rich, rewarding sex life with my wife, and something's getting bottled up here. And so the choice point is, okay, I can play it safe. I can do whatever I got to do to get it right, which means I don't do squat most of the time. I freeze. Or I can start to lean in and say, well, where it might be a little uncomfortable. There might be a little bit of a risk. I might get some pushback. It might not go over so great. So, but what I want to help you come back to owning what you want here, and then learning how to speak up for that and learning how to put that out there, and then helping seeing others as willing or able to respond to that, instead of it's all up on you and they don't have a response and they're somehow powerless to do anything about it. It's a co-creative process instead of all them or all you. So what does that look like in this relationship, right? So let's zero in. For you, let's just start with owning that you have desire, that you have a sexual desire. So are you willing, can you give me a scenario where you just like you were in the kitchen and you saw your wife or whatever? Like, can you remember a scenario like that? Can you describe something like that to me?
Yeah. It happened last night. Like she came in, I came in the door and I was just like, whoa, like there's just something she liked, there's a brightness about her, right? And I told her, I was like, whoa, like there's something about you, like it, this is gonna sound crazy. I was just like, because she was she was the earlier this week, she was like, I think I'm about to start my period. And then when I saw her, I was like, did you start it? Because you are looking beautiful right now. And we laughed about that. And there was some energy there. And I wanted to act on it last night, but it just kind of got in bed and she turned over and started looking at her phone. And instead of, keeping that energy going, I just let it fizzle and I turned over and went to sleep. And yeah, I feel like I could have done that better. So, those times are there and I'll even mention it, but then taking it forward when it's time for the rubber to meet the road. That's the tough part.
Okay. Let's come back to the scenario where you were in bed last night. What if you weren't attached to the outcome? She may not want to have sex with you. That's her
Right.
thing, right? So what if you weren't attached to the outcome? You could really want that outcome. This is what's tough for us, right? Is like, can I want something but not be attached to it? And it's really tough because a lot of times it's like, well, if I can't control the outcome and I might be disappointed, then I'm not going to even allow myself to want it. I won't even put it on my menu of options because it might be painful, right?
Right.
But the bold move here is to say I want something and it might not happen, but I'm willing to play for it anyway.
Right.
I'm bigger than that disappointment. I'll still be disappointed, but I'm bigger than that. I can see myself bigger than that. I will be impacted by it. Oh man, damn. Wanted that. And okay, next. What am I moving on to? So if you didn't have to guarantee the outcome, what might you have done differently laying in bed last night, still feeling this energy and this attraction for your wife? What might you have done differently?
I would have voiced my want for her. Like, hey, you remember, like I'm really still turned on by just seeing you earlier this evening, and I want to explore what that means. Like, I really want to be intimate with you, and you really turn me on. Yeah.
That sounds like
And
you getting it right still. There's still a part of you like, that's good. That sounds like the right thing to say.
Right.
And that's not a criticism.
Right. I would say, babe, I really want you. And yeah, I think if just even putting that out there would have advanced it a lot instead of just turning over. So just saying like I want you would have been huge.
Okay.
and let that been enough.
Okay. Now we can express that because I want to make sure this conversation isn't about how to get more sex. I want to be really clear. This is not
Okay.
but it is
How to
about how you can be right with what's going on for you.
Okay.
Right meaning aligned, owning it.
Okay.
So it could be like, I'm still really into you. I'm still feeling it, right? It could be that like,
right.
or you could just be coming in there, like really feel that turn on. Like, where is this turn on? Man, I feel it all the way down. I feel it in my whole body. I still feel tingling in my hands or whatever it is, warmth in my chest. Like I just feel this blood in my body. And just to actually really feel it. Like, man, there's an aliveness here.
Right.
Right. I'm feeling this. To allow that in the body. Because most of the time we're up in our head, like, how do I make sure I don't screw this up? Right. How do I make sure I get this right? So what if you were just to start there with yourself and come correct with yourself? Like, yeah, I'm actually really feeling this and do enjoy it. Because that may be all you're getting.
Right.
But just to come back and just really enjoy it. And then to speak from that place. I'm noticing as I lay here with you, I'm still feeling my turn on. I like it.
Wow. That when I say that just feels I don't know, more integrity or what. Even like you said, even if I don't get anything, but like to really know, like, yeah, that's what's true for me. I don't know, that feels different than how I would have handled it.
What do you think's different?
One for me, I mean, just at the beginning, owning like that's how I feel inside, and like not really be goal oriented with her, like, yeah, like outcome oriented, but like no, like having my own internal experience and being with that's, I mean, totally different from how I would go about it. And yeah, I don't know, it just feels really good to even feel that. Like I'm feeling it now, just that energy of like, there's still that desire for me. And that's not enough, but like I do own that. Like I still am really kind of going back to that place when I saw her and just how I felt about it. So yeah.
I think the thing that is different, again, this is really challenging. Okay. This is not you can't really fake it either, is I really want something and I don't need you to be different.
Right.
That's tough. That's really tough. I really want to have sex with you. I can feel this desire and I don't need to push you or control you or convince you or manipulate you. I don't need you to change. I don't need you to be any different than who you are right now. I'm okay. Even if I feel all this tension in my body, like it just wants to ejaculate, like get it out of me. Can I come back and really want to be with you, but I don't need you to be different. I don't have to, as I'm saying this, I'm like gritting my teeth and white knuckling, like feeling that energy of like, come on, girl, get in the program, right? Like that kind of thing.
Right.
I can still see her as her own person, that she's in her own world. She's got her own things going on today. If she's going having her period, she might be her whole body might just be in a completely different state where her turn on is somewhere in another state gone. Right. So can I completely own what's going on for me? Yes, this is still true for me, even if I don't need her to be any different than who she is. But it can still be an invitation. If you'd like to, I would love that. And I get it. You may not be feeling this.
Yeah, no, that feels really good for me. And again, I feel like this maps over for me in many other places where I can want something and not necessarily be attached to the outcome. that is a muscle that just feels really weak and flaccid from not working that out, of owning this is what I want. And I'm okay if you're not on that page, but this is what's true for me. That feels really good.
When we let go of, or when we dismiss what we want, a lot of times we end up in this lousy, how would I put it? It's this lousy dynamic with the world. Is like, well, the world needs to figure out what I want for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to play the martyr. I want to be the
Mm-hmm.
good guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get it right over here. And then if I'm pissed off and I'm not fulfilled, it's somebody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's the world's fault. The world sucks. Everything else sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's a victim mindset, right? And the reason why I say it's a victim mindset is we're not owning our power there. We're not owning what we want, and we're not speaking up for it out in the world. And so we get mad when the world doesn't figure out what we want and deliver it to us.
Mm-hmm.
We look outside of ourselves, and we can even beat ourselves up. Be like, I'm a bad guy. Like we can just even play the victim villain within our own head.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to help you see that as you see this map over into other areas. Let's find some ways for you to play with this, where you can take the first step, which is, what do I want in this given this is the scenario? What do I want here? If this is the negotiation that I'm in, if this is the bed I'm in with my wife, I'm in this restaurant, like whatever, but just to come back to that part. And instead of focusing on what could go wrong and how you might get it wrong and how somebody might think you're not a nice guy or whatever, like this, just to come back and say, what do I want here?
Right.
Do I even want to be here? Do I want to eat Chinese today? No, I don't want to eat Chinese today. I want to eat whatever. I want a salad across the street.
Mm-hmm.
But just to come back, you said it's a muscle. I do believe that it is a muscle. We've really developed this other muscle of looking for threats and anticipating threats instead of asking ourselves, what do we want? One's reactive, one's creative. And then from there, hell, I don't know if I'm going to get it or not, but I could speak up.
Mm-hmm.
I could propose something. I could request something. I could make an invitation. Hey, you know what? I don't really want to eat here. I want to eat cross street. Anybody else want to come with me?
Mm-hmm.
Would love to have you. Don't want to force you. It sounds like you're really into your mugu guy pan, like you're eating your Chinese, right? This is like, you're down with that, but it's like, what do I want here? And then it's an invitation instead of I have to figure out how to have power over somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I got to figure out how to manipulate and force or convince that kind of energy. I'm willing to go do this on my own.
Mm-hmm. For me, it just feels just empowering, just sitting with that energy of what I want. For so long, if I wanted something, for whatever reason, I just couldn't sit with it. So however I decide to not sit with it, I need to get that energy out. And I don't know, that just feels like way more loving to me, to be like, all right, this is what I want. Again, if you're not on board with that, I'm fine with that, and I can sit with this, or I can take care of, my needs myself, and I can go get, something from a different restaurant. So that just feels really empowering coming from that place.
Yeah, and there's the energy of it is it's an invitation. Would love to have you. Would love to have you join me. Right? I'm going to have a sexual experience tonight. I'd love for you to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I might be just playing solo. Right. So it's coming back to having an invitation instead of, I need you to do this. I can't have this without, like, it's like, I'm dependent upon you for this. And to challenge that, is it really true? Is it really true that this person has that power over me?
Right.
And how can I return the power back to myself and then make an invitation? Who would like to join me? Love to have you. Be fantastic.
That invitation is huge for me. That's huge.
It's not like, I'm going to go take my ball and play by myself. How are you? Right. There's still that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's huge. Feeling my want and making the invitation. That feels doable.
You could take it into your work. Hey, here's an opportunity I see possible for you. This is what I would like.
This is my invitation. There's my offer. This is my proposal. What do you think? Would you like to do that? You like to come along ride? Do that with me? Right? That's the energy of it. Instead of how do I manipulate and get them to do this and get it, it's just, I'm going. I'm going down this road. Would love to have you be a part of this. And if you're not going to be a part of it, others will. I'll find other people to play with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that circles right back. Yeah. I got to get it right. And like that eases that up when you own what you want and make it an invite.
So what would be, is there a way that we could play with this? And like, is there a way that we could come up with a practice or something for you to try out? Because you may faceplant a few times on this. What if that was okay? What if it was okay that not getting it right was actually part of the real lesson here? It was learning to find your way, your version of this here. It's not about getting good at running away from threats. It's like, yeah, the faceplant might be just what the doctor ordered, right? Learn like, oh, I've had a faceplant and I'm still okay. Everything's still fine.
Right.
So I'm not saying we got to go get a faceplant, but I want to, how could we integrate this and start to implement it?
I think my integration with it is where I want to just start with one, even just slowing down and checking in. And then I think I'm going to fumble it. It might be whatever, sweaty palmed or whatever, but make the invite. Like, I feel like just those two steps is where I need to just be constantly, like, and not even worried about outcome, but just like, hey, I want this. What do you think about that? Even if it's just that, you know what I mean? Like, that's huge for me. And then just, let life play out that way instead of really trying to see what the end product is before I even make the ask.
So recognize that you will feel tension. You're going to feel all the things you've been trying to avoid as you do this.
Right.
That's the cosmic joke, right? I don't want to be uncomfortable. Well, you do this, you're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel dangerous. Oh no, I might be uncomfortable. Right? There's the danger. Or I might be at risk. Right? This might be a waste of time. This might be a waste of energy. Or this person might just think I'm crazy. She might think I'm foolish. Hell no, I'm not going to get in with that deal. I blah, blah, blah. Okay. Right. All the things that you're trying to avoid, you've now subjected yourself to them. But it's an opportunity for you to realize, oh, I'm bigger than that. I can handle it. I'm not really in danger.
Right.
We start small and then you realize through experience that you can handle that stuff and you become stronger as a result. Instead of running away from things and getting more and more fragile, you get stronger by taking those things on. So the reason why I bring that up is because it's usually in the back of my mind, like, okay, how do I do this? How do I own what I want? And how do I speak up and still not feel uncomfortable?
Right.
It's going to feel uncomfortable. Just expect it. Right. How do I do this without it being risky? It's going to feel risky. It's going to seem a little risky. What if they don't like me? What if I'm misunderstood? They might. It might happen. So we just expect that stuff instead of trying to find the perfect way. Let's have a willingness to be a little messy. Not disrespectful, but messy. It might not be perfect.
Right. Yeah, I feel like the pendulum is so far one way. Being disrespectful, it almost would seem impossible to how far left I am to swing it back that way.
Well, I was thinking about the caveman stuff. Like, it's not necessarily we say disrespectful, but it might be just more not appreciating where the other person is in that moment.
Okay. Right. Now I know what you mean. Yeah. Right. That might have been disrespectful.
Like, I'm in my turn on and man, it's obvious to me that the time to get down is right now.
Right.
But where's this other person? Her head just may not be in it. She's thinking about something from work and she's probably not going to appreciate me pulling my pants down right in this moment. Right. It's just not going to.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the fact that I have my turn on. So can I be appreciative of her world and where she is and at the same time own mine. And that's where you can start to just simply express, I'm feeling this. I'm excited. I feel this in my body. Here's my invitation, right? Whatever that might mean. It could be just your eyes, just the way you're looking at her.
Right.
Be your words.
That feels a lot better than that way. Yeah.
Could be a little Post-it note, right? Just kind of leave a Post-it note on her cup of coffee. Just say, I'm checking you out. Got my eye on you.
I like that. I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking like this right now.
You go down to Office Depot, get some Post-it notes. That's kind of I like the Post-it note things. I'll hide one and I can hear my wife. I hear her like giggle. You know, when she finds it, that's a moment. It's a good moment.
Okay.
So the Post-it notes can be fun when they find that.
Okay.
So, all right. So what's the thing you're going to do today? What's one thing you'll do today?
One thing that I'm going to do today is I'm really going to I'm going to make some invitations based on what I'm feeling in the moment, and just really owning my side of the street. That's where I'm going to be. And it might be small things, or I don't know what the day's going to bring, but I'm committed to feeling something that I want and making an invitation.
Okay. So you're going to improvise is what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. And even if you don't catch it in the moment, right? Because our awareness it's okay to play Monday morning quarterback. You're driving down the road, you're like, oh, that was an opportunity there. So play it in your head. Like, what could I have said? Not to beat yourself up, right? But to come back and be like, oh, I could have played that a little differently. What would I have done instead?
Right.
I caught myself playing small. Okay. All right. It happens. Not perfect.
Right.
So what would I have done differently? It still rewires your brain to go through that scenario, picture yourself speaking up and making that invitation. It still develops the brain to build that awareness, but also to develop the skill a little bit.
Okay. I can do that.
Cool. And then report back to us. I want to hear how it goes tomorrow. For
sure. I'll gladly give you my results. Any crash and burns or successes.
We like crash and burns. It's okay. Awesome, man. Anything else that would help you today?
Nah, I'm good. This has been huge.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right on, man.
If these interviews are helping you, please leave a positive review on whatever podcast app you use so that others can discover the show more easily.